Daniel, hearing you speak up there on stage, you had a very somber moment.
Yeah.
Just want to know, how are you, like emotionally?
Emotionally, bittersweet, but I'm a professional, and when it's time to turn that switch on, I know how to turn the switch on. But it's almost injustice to not speak on how I feel about this injustices in boxing. It's just things need to change. You know, losing a friend in Patrick was unfortunate, and it shouldn't have never happened. There should have been a lot of things that have been set into where he should have been protected, to where he should have had a team that have done right by him. And it's just an unfortunate situation. He passed away doing what he loved, so that gives me joy. But at the same time, knowing that he didn't need this sport, and knowing that he was a great person and he touched everybody's heart that he came in contact with, including mine, on a whole nother level. Like, people truly don't understand how this kid impacted me. And I was the reason why he started boxing. And he shared that message with me one time when we were sparring and we came in a locker room together. And I never felt so humbled in my life, because here was this kid who was so articulate, so respectful, so gentlemanlike, was giving me some form of genuine praise and respectfully saying that I admire you. I had never had that happen, and you know, it changed my outlook on that from that point on. But to know that he's gone now, all I can do is just fight with his memory, fight with his spirit, and go in there and do my thing, because I know Patrick would have wanted that.
Two-part on that. One, what could have been done differently, if anything? Let me know what could be done. And the second part of that question is, did it make you question wanting to continue in boxing after it happened?
I'm not going to answer the first question because the damage is done.
We could prevent the damage if there's anything.
Yeah, but you got to understand too that you know, this sport, the powers to be control the narrative, and if it was more heartfelt, then you wouldn't have situations like this. So you wouldn't move your child, if it was your son in there boxing, a certain type of way, back to back to back to back, tough fights, maybe losing one or two. You would make sure that he was nurtured in the right way. You would make sure he would get every possible chance to be successful. And if he wasn't successful, set him up so that he still can have a great career, but doesn't take any damage. I still didn't watch the Patrick Day fight, his last fight. I didn't see any highlights. The only thing that stays in my head is the image when he was on the ground. And that is like something really hard to deal with. Yeah, I really don't know what to say, but I'm gonna go in there, and I know my boy's gonna be watching down, and I know that, like, I could just see that beautiful smile that he had, like, you know, man.
Still on your mind a lot, huh?
Still on my mind. I mean, he did, you know, his trainer and his team told me the last thing that he had said before going into the ring, because, you know, when I was younger, I used to have braids. And he had just recently got his fresh cornrows, and it was like, man, Patrick, you're looking good. He was like, yeah, I'm looking like a young Danny Jacobs. Hearing that, man, that touched me so much, you know? Like, it broke me, actually. But boxing is not for the faint. It's not for the weak. You have to keep on keeping on. So it's unfortunate situations like this that you're going to realize that you're human and that you're impacted by things like this, or people who are so beautiful. All I can do now is just continue to strive and fight in his honor, because he's no longer with us.
Now, certainly it's a tough thing. I'll be honest, it's made me question covering this sport, because people shouldn't die in sport, honestly, you know, and it's made me question a lot of things a lot. So I would imagine the emotions that you're having to deal with it and fight through as well.
It's a lot, because, man, fighting is a mental thing anyway. It's a majority mental. You're going in there, a physical sport, but you're fighting with your mind, you know? It's just hoping that I can go in there with a clean slate, just make sure that I'm focused and not think about. I'm a professional, so I do a very good job in going in there and getting the job done despite the distractions that's going on outside the ring. But this was a major blow.
Speaking of this fight, it's your first fight at 168. You mentioned up there that you feel better, that you didn't feel right before because it is a tough weight cut. Is that what you're alluding to, that the weight cut would hamper your performances in the past?
100%. I think that if you was to see me leading up to the gym to where I'm at my comfortable weight, you'll see how I'm performing inside the ring. Till it's actually time to get inside the ring, when I've cut all that weight, you'll see the difference in my performances. So it's evident. I know what I need to do to change it. Those changes are made. It was necessary, and now I'm looking forward to being that superstar that I know I can be with the superstar skill set.
Do you feel like you have more energy, like more power? Like, how would you describe it?
You have more of anything, yeah.
With this fight, I know a lot of people have written Junior off. They feel that he's not focused, he's not dedicated, that a lot of people see him as a joke. How are you seeing him coming in this fight, honestly?
Well, I take every fight. It has nothing to do with my opponent. I take every fight seriously. I think when you have a man in there that's trying to come over there and take your head off, you have to be prepared for anything, because in boxing, you could get hit on the break and get knocked out, you know? So you just have to be prepared for everything. And that's what this fight, for me, that's how I'm taking it. It's a new clean slate, new chapter, if you will. And I think that my fans will be really excited with what I have to bring to the table. So thank you, guys.
On a last thing, did you feel that Golovkin beat Derevyanchenko? You had a close fight with Derevyanchenko.
I didn't see the whole fight, but from what I hear, I'm hearing that Sergey did a really good job. But it was kind of like a similar situation with my fight. He got off to a slow start, and he finished fairly strong. So I have to go back and see it, but I wish both fighters the best of luck.
Canelo pound for pound #1 because of the knockout?
I have to think about that. I'm not sure. I haven't been following boxing for a while, so I have to really sit back. But T-Bud, to me, I still feel like T-Bud is my favorite, because style-wise, man, I think he has it all. But wish the best of luck to all the pound for pound contenders.
Daniel, thank you.
Thank you.
In the last 10 years, SNAC has provided fighter training stack supplements to more than 20 world champions, including Mikey Garcia, Demetrius Andrade, and Caleb Plant. If you're ready to take your fight game to the next level, the SNAC Fighter Training Stack is for you.